Hello! Welcome to Little Pages by Mom Icy Cruz-Almario. We have here another book by Nicola Auburn. I love Nicola. So, still under Nosy Crow. And then, just like last time, about the open this book very carefully. A book with a bite. It has a hole in it. There's a peep-through pages to just to the cover pages only. And then what's nice about this one is that this is actually a combination of some other fairy tales. If you're into fairy tales and your child is really exposed to those, I'm sure they can really relate to the flow of this story. So once more, we have other works by Nicola. Use your imagination and open very carefully. A book with a bite, the one I reviewed last time. So if you like that one, I'm sure you will like this one too. She really has her signature in making her works. Just like Eric Carle, you can already tell he has his trademark in making his work, right? So same thing with this writer. That's what I always look for regarding writers. I want to see if they really have their style or trademark. And this writer really captured my attention because of her style. So Nicola, let's see. It's nearly time for a bedtime story. But which book will it be? Maybe a funny story, or a princess story, or possibly something full of action and danger. What's that? You want all of those things? In only one book? Well, this might be just the book for you. Oh, see, it's a combination, as I've mentioned, it's a combination of so many things because most of the characters from different fairy tales are actually in this book. And you will see that it has plenty of pages. So, wow, that's the reaction of this one. Wow, there's so much to read in this book. If your child loves to read, then this one is for them. It's just a paperback, but this is premium. So, flexi pages, very smooth and nice illustrations as usual. According here, it has a free stories aloud smartphone audiobook. In my case, I don't usually use although there are some audiobooks or some QR codes for me to listen to the audio version. I don't usually do that because it will also make use of gadgets. So, I just love to read the book to my child without the supplement of gadgets. So it depends. If your child will enjoy it more with the use of the audio, it's okay. So the last book before bedtime. So you may ask your child, what is usually the last book you have before they sleep or before you sleep? You let them answer that. Let them think about that. A very mind or thought-provoking question before you start this book. So, but which book will it be? So, let's find out what book should we read to them before bedtime. So, again, this is the QR. If you want to hear the story, you can scan this code. Let me show you the code, this one. Okay? So, let's start the story now. The last book before bedtime. Okay. Is it visible now? Okay. Let me show you. At the end of a day that's been filled with lovely things that ping and beat and buzz and glow, there's nothing better than one last book before bed. You could say it's the most important story of the whole day. But which story will it be? Hello? Three little pigs, can you hear me? I said, what could be the last book before bed possibly be? Please excuse us. We seem to be having some technical difficulties. But I'm in the middle of a game. The last book before bed? That sounds interesting. We have three little pigs, right? They have different reactions regarding this question. Excuse me, three little pigs. It's time for the story to start now. We have a really sleepy reader here. And we need a bedtime story. Is there time for cake first? The other one is so hungry. Get ready, little pigs, or we'll read something else. Come on, let's get this show on the road. Right, at last we can get started. So these are the three little pigs. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs. When they were all grown up, their mother sent them out into the world to seek their fortunes. But first, she kissed them on their piggy noses and said, "Work hard and remember, beware of the big bad wolf." So this is their way home. The three little pigs soon found a meadow where the flowers smelled so lovely and the river bubbled so cheerfully that the first little pig declared, "This meadow is perfect. I shall build my house right here and I shall make it out of straw." We all know how that's going to turn out. But before the first little pig could even start building his house, there was a rather pink interruption. I want to know when lunch is. The other one always thinks about the food, the second pig. Hello, this is the pink interruption. It was Cinderella. If this is the last storybook before bedtime, you really want a princess story. My book has romance, an evil stepmother, and everyone knows princess stories are made into films and boys. No one's going to want to watch a film with you pork chops in it. Hey, you interrupted our story. And who are you calling pork chop? I haven't even had a chance to build my brick house yet. Well, you're here now, Cinderella. Let's see what happens. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful maiden who lived with her evil stepmother and two ugly sisters. The maiden was sweet and lovely, but her family was mean. They made her sleep by the fireplace, and because she was always covered in cinders, they called her Cinderella. One day, an invitation arrived from the royal palace. The prince was holding a grand ball and everyone was invited. Everyone, that is, except Cinderella. Her evil stepmother would not let her go. Hang on, is this a kissy story now? Who cares? There's a banquet in this story. I'd just like to point out that there are no pigs in the Cinderella story. They have different reactions, huh? Settle down, little pigs. You three can be the evil stepmother and the ugly stepsisters. Right, pigs? Get your dresses on. Okay. So they became the stepmother and the ugly stepsisters. As the three little pigs, the evil stepmother and the ugly stepsisters left the house, Cinderella began to cry, for she desperately wanted to go to the ball too. Suddenly, there was a puff of magic and a fairy appeared. "We shall go to the ball." I said, "A fairy appeared." Well, this is embarrassing. It usually works. Let's try again. But who's going to be the fairy? I'm just looking forward to the cake. The second pig is always hungry. Suddenly, there was a puff of magic and Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf appeared. That's a surprise. Listen, the fairy godmother can't make it. Ignore all this fairy princess stuff. The last storybook should be exciting and full of action and danger. I'm way more interesting than the Cinderella story. Did I miss anything? That's the wolf. Well, now that you're both here, let's get back to the story. Oh, it's you! Does this mean we have to start again? But we're nearly at the cake part of the story. Well, I think Cinderella is an exciting story, so there. Everyone settle down, let's try again. Cinderella, you can be Little Red's mother. Pig number 2, you're the granny. And Wolf, you're not in this bit. Another story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl whose cloak had a beautiful red hood. So everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said to her, "Could you take this picnic basket to your granny? But don't stray from the forest path and remember, beware of the big bad wolf. It's boring being the mom." "I've got nothing to do." "Well, I'm the granny. Doesn't the granny get eaten?" "It's nearly my turn. I'm the star of this story, you know." The wolf. Little Red Riding Hood was skipping along when who should she meet but the big bad wolf. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood," he said. Where are you off to so early and all by yourself? I'm off to see my poor sick granny and take her some of my mother's elderflower cordial and cake, replied Little Red Riding Hood. I'm really hungry. I only got one thing to say. Well, at least you had something to say. Hurry up. I'm bored. I want to turn the page. She's opening this page, you see? Everyone, quiet down. You're ruining the story. And be careful. Don't you know that books are only made of paper? This is ridiculous. If I can be the star of the story, then nobody can. I'm going to pull this book to pieces. Oh, this time it's Cinderella who's trying to pull the page. Two can play at that game, Cinderella. You can always be the center of attention. This one is Little Red Riding Hood. I was promised cake. Oh dear, it's all going to end in tears. Oh, this is fun. I have a chance to be bad. This one also is flipping the page. I've had enough of this. Let's get out of here. No, don't do that. You rip the book. Okay, they're ripping the book. Oh no, the book's in pieces. And now it's bedtime and we have no story. Whatever are we going to do? I have an idea, but this is only going to work if you all pitch in. What kind of story do you want? A romantic one, a funny one, a dangerous one, an exciting one with cake. Come on, let's get on it. Let's get on with it. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs. They were hardworking and resourceful and lived in a beautiful brick house in a lovely location. On this particular day, they were hosting tea and cake for their friends Little Red Riding Hood and Cinderella. Finally, we get cake! More tea? Yes, please. Just then, Little Red Riding Hood arrived. Cinderella's just texted me, she said. She's not feeling well and won't be able to come to tea. Then we shall go to her, cried the 3rd little pig, who was not only handsome but kind and good. So they packed up all of the lovely food and drink and set off for Cinderella's house. The path to Cinderella's house wound through a deep, dark forest, and who should they meet there but the big bad wolf? The 3 little pigs and Little Red Riding Hood were afraid of wolves and decided not to stop and talk. But this wolf saw the picnic basket and guessed where they were going. I'm going to sneak to Cinderella's house first, thought the wolf, and when they arrived, I'll gobble them up. When the 3 little pigs and Little Red Riding Hood arrived at Cinderella's house, they found someone in bed, someone who was wearing Cinderella's favorite pink scarf. What big eyes you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. All the better to see you with, said the someone. What big ears you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. All the better to hear you with, said the someone. The 3rd little pig looked at the someone very carefully. What big teeth you have, said the 3rd little pig. All the better to eat you with, shouted the big bad wolf, and he leaped out of the bed. But the 3rd little pig knew exactly what to do next. He leaped forward and wedged a large slice of cake firmly into the wolf's huge toothy mouth. It's so delicious, cried the wolf, even tastier than the little pigs or little girls. The 1st little pig then let Cinderella out of the cupboard, where she promptly fell in love with him. Where she promptly fell in love with him. Is this the romantic bit? But I'm a pig. Well, nobody's perfect. But they didn't kiss because this isn't that kind of story. And they all lived happily ever after. Well done, Tim. You did a great job in the end. That was just what our last book before bed should be. We had everything in that story. Yes, it was fun, exciting, dangerous, and romantic. And we had cake. I'm still hungry though. I didn't get to eat anyone. Well, we never actually do eat anyone in my story. Stop. Hang on. The kid's still awake. Are you still awake? Oh no. But we've run out of pages. We're going to need another book. Are you still awake? Yeah, my child got awake. Okay, so let's continue. At what part? Yeah, right, another book. Oh, what another? Oh. I love bedtime. Oh, you will drink. Okay. Hello. We're on the same page, but not on the same day. Because last night I wasn't able to finish this part. We only have one page left, but my child woke up. So let's continue. And this is it's the very line that I was reading to you last night when she woke up. Are you still awake? Oh no, but we ran out of pages. We're going to need another book. Yay, another book. I love bedtime stories. This time, can we have something with a happy ending? This time, let's have a story with bananas in it. No, let's have a story with small animals that I can eat in it. I think I want to branch out of fairy tales. Just saying. I hope it starts once upon a time. Which book are you going to choose? So you let your child decide what book they would like to have among the stories these characters are referring or mentioned here. So you see, this is a very entertaining book. Plus, it can really make your child explore and use their imagination by reading this book. Especially if they are so familiar with the stories mentioned, the Little Red Riding Hood, the Three Pigs and the Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf, plus Cinderella. I'm sure most kids know these stories. So when you would like to share this book, you should have the prerequisite books, and those are the 3 fairy tales, so that they can really enjoy the twists in this book. So once again, under Nosy Crow, Nicola Auburn. So, hi, sorry for that. It took me ages to continue this book because she got awake. My daughter got awake. So, I hope you like this one. You can also have the Stories Aloud My Smartphone audio version of this one. Just scan the QR code here. So, a goodbye for our little ones. Thank you for supporting our page, Little Pages. Thank you.